Hello everybody, this is John Hardy with you once again, bringing an interview with an interesting business owner that I've been working with. And the context for today is, this is a longevity context. I've been working with Franco, who I'll introduce to you in a minute, probably 3 to 4 years. And I thought it'd be really good for you to see the power of how coaches work over long periods of time with clients and how they develop through different seasons in their business. So that's what we're going to do today, and we'll have a whole bunch of fun.
Into the structure of the say circle around the south, hit my target, see that big goal.
As well as understanding the dynamics of why. So let me introduce you to Franco Preo from Fresh Aire Carpet Cleaning here in Western Australia. A great guy, and he has some really interesting attributes. So Franco, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your business.
About myself and a business, okay. Well, I've actually been in business for 30 years. It was 30 years on April 30, so there you go.
Wow.
It's been a little bit of a while and a bit of a journey. I've been through quite a few ups and downs, and we're in the carpet cleaning sphere, but also in more of a specialist type of zone.
Yes.
So we do all the bits that most other guys would just walk away from. So we've got a fairly niche little market, and do reasonably well out of that. Yes.
So you've been in the business 30 years,
Yeah.
but you weren't always the skilled person you are today.
God, no.
So you've gone through quite a few transitions.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit of how we first started in our conversation.
Okay, well, we first started because I was looking at my business and thinking, how do I expand? I really had no idea. Even though I'd been in the business for quite a while, my problem was that I was in a space where I was always talking to people who are in my industry.
Yes.
And we all had sort of similar ideas, and no one was really doing anything different. And so I thought, well, there's got to be something else that I can do to drive my business further forward, to get it to a position where I want it to be. So that's where you stepped into the conversation, and we started doing the little bits and pieces once a month, having a look at the business and how it's progressing and what I could do to change things around a little bit, which, I have to say, it's made a significant impact on where I am today.
That is really interesting because, you know, you often don't know when we first engage where it might go, and both of us imagine. And for me as a coach, I want to deliver outcomes, but it's guesswork. Sometimes it's a little bit of hope that, you know, we actually can do this thing. And that's always fascinating to see how it actually works out. So have you got a story of the early days of our conversation?
Me being scared, silly, because honestly it was all completely new and completely foreign, and needed me to step out of my comfort zone, which I was quite happy in.
Yes.
Well, kind of happy, and I knew I wanted to expand, but I didn't know how to do it, and it was quite scary.
Yeah.
It was quite confronting and intimidating to go off and do things that I'd never done before, never thought of before, and never had a conversation with anyone before. So it was all new ground for me, and it did make me feel uncomfortable, and as you know, I was a little bit resistant at times, to say the least.
Well, it's all part of understanding how each person works. So I'm a fairly fast-paced person, as you know. And I would sometimes ask...
Understatement.
Yes, and I would sometimes ask you to work at my pace.
Yeah.
And we would have conversations about that, and we would work out how it's going to best work for you, because the coaching conversation isn't about me, is it?
No, oh God, no.
No. It really is about you and developing those outcomes for you and giving you the space in which to get a hold of that. I think a lot of businesses don't understand what happens for them, that they don't have anybody to talk to. And they feel like, and we can talk a little bit more about this, if I say something to somebody else, I'm going to be embarrassed, I'm not as good as I kind of make out to be, they're going to see where the skeletons are buried. So tell me how you process that as you developed with your own being scared and actually realising, I'm actually being helped.
Well, I mean, the thing is that you take on board the things you've been telling me. And yes, like I said, it made me feel that little bit uncomfortable, but you have to get out of that comfort zone. And the things that you are suggesting is like, well, I haven't tried it before, so how do I know it's going to work until I actually get out there? And it really did. I mean, I said to you a few times at the beginning, it really felt like I was being bent over and having a big swift kick up the backside for you to push me along, because I mean, I knew I wasn't doing the things I was supposed to be doing. But it was like I said, scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing about it was actually having to make those changes, because it meant a lot more work, and I was already.
Yes.
My problem was that I was already overwhelmed by work, and couldn't step forward because in some areas I had to actually let go, which has been really hard to do. But at your suggestion, I've taken the other people on board. I've basically consolidated the things that I need to do for my business and let other people take care of things that I didn't need to be doing, and that has made my life so much easier.
And it's been an interesting progression as you have grown. You've realised, I've grown. I'm more confident. I can now address that comfortably, even though I'm scared as I'm doing it. But the outcomes have always been in a way that's helped you move forward.
That's the biggest thing about it, is the fact that yes, I wasn't comfortable and all the rest of it. I've never actually set a foot in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes things may not have maybe worked as quickly as I might have liked.
Yes.
But it was always a step forward.
Yeah.
Maybe a small step, but it was always a step forward. It wasn't that step backwards, which has been the biggest thing. And I mean, if I hadn't had those conversations with you, I'd probably still be sitting back where I was before, maybe come through a little bit further forward, but I'd be so much more stressed.
Yes. Yeah. And that was, it's interesting in coaching that we're actually not just coaching in business, are we?
No.
There's quite a holistic dynamic going on. Tell business owners a little bit more about those other dynamics that actually take place.
Well, the problem is that when you're in your own business, it takes over your life.
Yeah.
You know, and it takes over everything. So all you're consumed with all the time is, what's my business doing? What should I be doing? I mean, it was very common for me to be up at 2 or 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, still beavering away in the office trying to do stuff, and it was ridiculous. You know, people would be saying, "Why are you sending out emails at 3 a.m? What are you doing up at that time?" It's like, "I'm not up. I haven't gone to bed yet." You know, and that was a really big thing. And I mean, even going away on holiday. I mean, the last time my partner and I went away on holiday, she commented at the fact that it was the first time she hadn't seen me with a laptop and phone in front of me the whole time, and actually relaxed. Yeah, good point. It was really taking over my whole existence. And as I said, you know, I stress a lot better these days, because I've got great people behind me now who take a lot of that away. Yes, I've got to pay them, and that's great. But the income's there that's been generated to be able to pay them and pay them comfortably. So you know what? I'm still making a good quid out of it. There's other people now making a good quid out of it as well. And I've got the support systems that I can actually walk away from the business, as I am later this month. As you know, I'm going off on a 5-week holiday, and still be confident that I've coming back to a business that's running efficiently.
And it's actually impacted many areas of your life, not just you in business, but you and your health, which was really interesting, wasn't it? That got raised in our conversations.
Yeah. I mean, apart from having a bit of the lurgy at the moment, but yeah, as I said, stress really plays a huge impact on where you are with your life. In whatever aspect you're looking at. So if you've got that stress taken away from you in the background, it's not there in the back of your head just gnawing away all the time, making you feel tired because you're expending energy. You're not even realising you're doing it.
Yes.
But you're always expending energy because you're worrying about stuff. Take some of that worry out of it and your life simplifies.
And it's interesting for businesses listening to us, wondering how they can be helped, even through a conversation like this. So what would you say for a business if they're in your position, as we were a few years ago, and they're wondering what should they do to help change, and they're dealing with their own fear and stress and anxieties about that? What would be a comment you would make to them?
What are you waiting for? Go talk to someone else other than being in your own little world, because your own little world is very limited, okay? Even with me, being with other people in the industry, I'm a part of the association, as you know. I'm actually on the committee. I was actually one of the ones that formed the association in the first place. But we all were in our own little bubble. You've got to get out of that bubble to really learn, because all you've got is everybody's basically spouting the same ideas all the time, and none of them are really working efficiently for anybody else. So why are they going to work that great for me? Which is why when I stepped out of it and started to talk to you, I thought, wow, there's a whole other world out there. So having that conversation with someone who can look at your business from the outside in rather than the inside out, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And so you've seen some really interesting added values to your business, because your business might present as Fresh Aire Carpet Cleaning, but it's not that, is it?
Oh God, no. It's I mean, carpet cleaning is the core of the business, yes. But then there's all the other bits and pieces that we do, like your colour restorations, for instance, carpet repairs, the stain removal side of it, which everybody claims they can do stain removal, but I've found very few that are actually able to support their claim. We're basically a one-stop shop. So if you have a problem with your carpet, you can come to us and we can either give you a report and inspection on it and tell you what can or can't be done with it, because sometimes it's just not worth it, or be able to resurrect the carpet, which some people might have told you, no, you've got to throw it away. And I've done that quite a number of times and saved people literally thousands of dollars by doing a restoration rather than having to do a replacement.
Yeah. So coming to a business, sometimes people don't understand that there is more to it than meets the eye. We might have a name, but what you've done, you've not only done those skills, but you've actually added other dimensions as you've grown as a business operator. So you were a carpet cleaner and you were doing some things.
Yep.
Tell us about what you've added and how you've grown in that space.
What we've added, excuse me, as I said, I've got the bit of the dreaded lurgy at the moment, but what we've added to it is, like there's, even though I've had a fair bit of knowledge before, there are always things that are developing within any industry. I mean, for us, there was different fibre constructions and fibre types. So we have to look at that and be able to keep on top of what's going on. So, with that in mind, I've also started training.
Yes.
So, with within the industry, I actually train other people to be able to bring their skills up. Because, it's great that I've got the skill set, but I can't do every single carpet here in Perth. It's just, it's not feasible. Unless I had about 20 vehicles out the road, which I don't really want to go quite that big. But I can certainly pass that information on to other people to help develop their skills. Mind you, to be able to get to the level that we're at, it's going to take a heck of a long time. So I don't have any real immediate opposition as far as that goes, because of the fact that we've got so much under our belt that it's really difficult to work up to that level. I mean, 30 years in the biz. The last training course I did was just 3 months ago, where we did more colour training.
But you've added that, and you've got confident that you can deliver that.
Well, that's the whole thing. You've got to be able to back up your claim. There's no good saying, oh yeah, we can do this, that and the other. And I see all sorts of wonderful adverts around the place saying, people saying that they can do this stuff, and then I get caught in because things didn't go quite right. So when it comes to that, everything from being able to pull that stain out of the carpet to retufting a carpet, even for instance, which other people, there's not many people that can do that sort of thing. For general carpet repairs, colour restoration, colour change, there's just not that sort of amount of knowledge out there for people to be able to deliver those services. And we just thought, well, we need to do it. There's a market out there for it. There's no one taking it, so why don't we?
Absolutely. Now, you've also added a staff member who's on the road for you. Tell us about that transition when going through that in business, when you've got to hand over and trust someone to do what you do and own the vehicle and run that. Tell us about that process.
Okay, well, I mean, I was at that point, like I said, I had too much. There was no way that I could handle anything I was being thrown at me. So it was a case of either contract it out, but then once you do that, you've lost control of it.
Yes.
Okay, you're at the at the whim of the other person that you're trying to put your confidence into. And whilst I was picking people that I had personally trained, they're still being my representative, but running their own business.
Yes.
So I thought, well, you know what, I've got enough now to be able to put someone else on, or didn't quite, I had to push the limits a little bit, but it was just a little bit of marketing to bring the levels up a bit. But finding someone, that was the key issue. Yes. Okay, so I did find one chap, and he was great, but then he unfortunately got an offer for a position in a completely unrelated industry, which was too good not to take. So I actually booted him out the door and said, don't be an idiot, take it. I can't give you that sort of money and you'll never be able to come across that again. So he had a young family and it was only fair. So I had to go through the process again, and that was fairly fraught in itself. I wouldn't do it the way I did it last time, doing it all myself. Once again, I'd outsource.
Yes.
I've learned that one. But yeah, I managed to come across someone who is Carl, and he has been an absolute godsend. He's fantastic. People rave about him all the time. I rave about him all the time. He is a really top-class technician who takes pride in his work. He's got my mentality when it comes to the job, which is what I was looking for. And really trying to find that dynamic is the hardest thing to do, to find someone that's going to fit in with the way you think, the way you behave, and the way that you want to portray your business image. He ticked all the boxes.
It was interesting. I had a question last week about how we hire people. Should we hire them with our values or try to train them? So you've really gone after people with your values and work ethic.
That's right.
And the difference that it makes. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things that struck me about him was when he'd come out from the UK just a couple of years before, his job history, and that's one of the things I really concentrated on. If you see someone that every 3 months is flitting off to another job, you've got no stability. They could be the greatest salesperson in the world and the most fantastic, diligent person on the job when they're working, but they have no loyalty to where they are. They're looking for the next best thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's just not a fit for me. I need someone who's going to be there for a long term. He'd had one job since high school. Wow. Okay, and it was in a flooring-related industry, but nothing to do with cleaning. So he's more about the fitment side of things, and it was more on hard floor than it was in carpet. But it's the way he portrayed himself, his education. Okay, so you need someone that's going to be halfway intelligent as well. Look, you know, there's a lot of technicalities, believe it or not, in carpet cleaning. People think it's just a bit of detergent and water. There is so far beyond that, it's ridiculous. There is a certain amount of science, chemistry and physics that goes with it. And so I needed him to be able to learn that and understand it. And it's not something that everybody's quite capable of doing to that level, to the level that we're doing it at. If it's just a base carpet cleaner that some general cleaning companies doing in a commercial building, that's one thing. But what we're doing is the specialisations aspects. So it's a lot higher level. So I need someone to be able to take that sort of thing on board. And also the fact that he was stable. He had a young daughter. He was looking for something that he wanted to do long term, rather than just a short term, and that was a conversation we had before we started. His whole ethic, his presentation, the way he talked, he spoke, then it all played a part, and I just thought, okay, he is probably the best match that I've seen out of the 130 odd applicants I had. So it was, as I said, it was a massive task for me on my own. But yeah, he ticked all the boxes that I was looking for. And so I took the plunge with him, and haven't looked back since. He's been fantastic. And
you're about thinking in that same process again, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes, which is really fascinating.
My next step. So I've got to refine a little bit of marketing, which there's an idea that you gave me last time we were together, which I'm trying to develop something now to put out there.
Yes.
So that's my next step. Although with having to go up to Canada for 5 weeks at the moment, I just thought I'd take a little bit of a back burner on that, set everything up in the meantime, and then when I come back, I'll look at putting someone else on, because then we're also going to come into a season which is going to pick up in business anyway, and I'm certainly going to need someone to take on the extra work, because whilst we're not flat out at the moment, by the time we get to that stage there, Carl and I are going to be significantly overloaded.
So it's interesting, about 4 years later, the place you're in now, the confidence you are as a business person, having multiple staff, and actually interesting multiple streams and aspects to your business.
Yes.
Tell us about this world now for you as a business owner. Being coached.
Being coached, okay. Well, one of the big things is that I realised that I had to step back and take some time out of my business. Okay, so as you know, Monday these days is my admin day. I do not work on Mondays unless there's a very, very good reason. I had to work yesterday, but that was a really unusual. I took Friday off instead.
Great,
Okay, so it was just one of those cases that it had to be done that day, and it was a huge commercial job, and it's worth quite a few thousand, so it's like, no, I'm not going to say no to that, So anyway, that was that one there. So it's a very different now to where I was before. Okay. Like one of the things actually, you're talking about multiple staff as well. Not having multiple staff, but having someone else that you can outsource to. Like as I said, one of the things about not stressing is not having to answer that damn phone every day. I now
Yeah.
have someone else.
Yes.
I have a phone number that my old number is now just a dedicated business number, which I don't have to work with. It's great. It's saved me an hour or two per day. Just that in itself alone is bringing in other people. I've got a great bookkeeper now, so I don't have to do my BAS statements anymore every month, which used to drive me insane, as you know.
Yes.
And then I have someone else in the background doing all my admin. I am literally just doing the stuff to drive my business further forward,
Yes.
and the training side of it as well. So that's the other extra stream of income that is coming in. And then the specialisations as well. So
Yes.
I not so much on the, if you want to put it that way, grunt work.
Yes.
I'm on the finer details of the
Yes.
business. But yeah, it was learning to step away from the business and really work in the business to drive it further forward. That was the biggest lesson for me that you've helped me show.
Yes. And we've worked hard on that, haven't we, to get that
Yeah.
time
into
your world.
Yeah, but it's quite funny. Even though I'm taking that time out, it hasn't affected my turnover. In fact, it's had the opposite effect, which was really hard to get my head around. It's like, I've got to work. How can I
Yes.
take time out of my business? And it's like, well, you let other people do it for you.
Yes.
And that was one of the things that you really tried to push for me. And I know I was resistant
Yes.
to, because I was,
Yes.
it was always
Yeah.
that worry there.
Yeah.
But that worry turned out to be unwarranted.
Correct, yes. So you've not only got people in the business that, in a sense, you pay, in a sense, staff, but you've got people in the business that you've outsourced to.
Yes.
So you've really got quite a multiple staff team that really help from where Franco was by himself and how he's grown. What's the difference in the way you think now?
The way I think, it's more business related rather than just work related, because all I was looking at before was, how can I get more work, how can I get more work? But now I'm looking at how can I improve my business and my business practices, not just what I'm doing on the job, but in general, and as an overall view. So I'm taking that bird's eye view rather than being in it, beavering away and looking around and not seeing things, because you're not actually stopping to look at everything you need to look at.
That's so good, Franco. It's so good. So we want to help businesses listening to us today. So we've talked about that initial fear. How can you help them imagine what it looks like for them if they take, like you've done, take some time to grow as a leader? What would you be saying to them to say, hey, if you do this, expect this?
If you do this, expect this. Look, there is no magic panacea for anything.
Yes.
And it really needs you to take the initiative, step forward, and actually go out there and do it for yourself. Okay? You'll have people like you to help get through it, but you really need to put yourself, like I said before, out of your comfort zone. It really needs you to drive yourself that little bit further, but driving yourself that little bit further, funnily enough, makes your life easier.
Yes.
And that's what I found for me. It is the, having that conversation with another person that is just not associated with your industry, that it's really looking at a business structure rather than the work structure, and that's a huge thing. It's really getting out there and narrowing down the details of what you should be doing, rather than just going out and thinking, oh, well, I need this and I need that and I have to be doing this. You know what?
Yes.
Yeah. Until you have those conversations, you really don't know what's out there.
Yeah, and it really is interesting, Franco, because I use this imagery when I help people understand it. Is when we first started, your eyes were down and working in the business, and that's all I can see. And what we've gradually helped do is then lift your eyes up to see what you can do a little bit more around your business.
Yeah.
And now you have eyes forward. You can see where the business is going, but you can do all three at the same time, can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can see that, I've got to do this for me, I've got a contract to do. Hey, that's a good contract, I'm going to do that on Monday, but I'm going to take Friday off. That's really powerful. But I'm going to look what's going on in my business. So you analyse the work that your team is doing, but you're looking forward. The fact you can go away on holidays, knowing the business is going to run, that when I come back, I've really got that clarity. And we talk about those things, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
And
That's a word that comes up a lot. Clarity.
Yes.
Not quite clear about what it means.
And they're the powerful things we actually can do when a coach and a business owner work collaboratively and learn to listen to each other and listen to the vibe and the dynamic. the conversation is about for you to develop those outcomes for you.
Yeah,
Yeah?
and that's a really thing for a business coach as well, to be able to look at a different person, because everyone's different.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to be very different to one of your other clients.
Yes.
Okay, so you need to be able to adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
Which is what you've done for me. You've sort of moulded me a little bit and pushed me a little bit here and pushed me a little bit there, and sometimes they give me that swift kick up the backside. Yeah, but it's all part and parcel of learning what I need to learn, and you've got to help me to
Yes.
get to those points there, which, you know, some of them have been a long time coming. Don't smile.
So let me ask a reverse question.
Yeah.
What would you say to a coach, you know, when people are in business like you, kind of questions you would expect businesses to be saying to their coach in the way they can help businesses?
Man, that's a really difficult question, because every business is so different. For me, it was really about trying to find out different ways, okay, and stepping away from what I've done in the past, because repeating what I'd done obviously wasn't getting me anywhere. So I needed a fresh set of eyes on my business, and that's what you were for me.
Yes.
That fresh set of eyes to have a look at it and say, okay, this is what we can tweak here, this is what we need to do there, and we need to change this around completely. Okay, which I had no idea of.
Yeah.
And it was it was a definite eye opener, especially in the early days. It's like, wow, okay, and how am I going to do all this? How can I make all these changes? But like I said, it takes a willingness from the business person to be able to make those changes, but also have those suggestions coming from the business coach. I mean, for me, one of the biggest things is how do I expand?
Yes.
Okay, I know I'm at the point now, which I just couldn't physically keep on going the way I was.
That's right.
You know, I'm 55 years old. I'm not getting any younger.
No,
There's
you're not.
plenty of grey hairs. No. So, you know, I needed to be able to get away from that, and the only way I could get away from that is by putting people on and expanding the business.
Yeah.
Okay, but I just didn't have the wherewithal to do it myself, to know how to do it properly. I didn't want to do, you know, just a half attempt at it and then fail.
Yeah.
Because that would be the biggest thing. So especially if you take someone else on, you're also responsible for their family. It's not just about you anymore.
Yes.
So that really weighed heavily on me.
Yes.
So it was a big decision for me, but I needed to be able to have that sort of facility from someone to be able to tell me and show me better ways.
It's interesting, the question for coaches is, are you relevant to where businesses are at?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the question you're asking of me. Am I still relevant to continue to help you grow? So it's an interesting question for a coach when he goes away or he's preparing for a session with a client. What are you thinking about that can help that client, and what questions can you bring to help that client go away with challenges and growth and opportunities to develop as a person, as a business owner? And that's always really interesting. How does that actually take place? And we've had some really interesting times when we've just landed on a question, and then that's been the right strategy to go forward as we've listened and had that conversation.
Yeah, but that's taken you to actually listen to my business.
Yes.
Am I going, oh my God, what am I going to do here?
Yes.
Or as you said, when I've had that resistance to get me around that.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm by no means an expert business person, which is, I mean, that's why I came to you in the first place. I realised that I didn't have the dynamic necessary to be able to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have already done it.
So another question we're saying is, I really do need to listen to you and listen to your conversation, and your context.
Each different industry is going to be different in its context, and each different person is going to have those personality traits that you need to adjust to.
Yes.
Okay, which is what you had to do with me.
Yeah.
Because I know that, as you said at the beginning, like you're right, charge, just let's go do it. And I'm like, whoa.
Oh, that's right. Absolutely. And we've tempered each other, haven't we, in those conversations where you've known, I really do need to pick up my game. Yeah. And there's times when John has said, okay, take your time, Franco. That's okay. It really is okay to do that. Yeah,
Rome wasn't built in a day, and
that's
neither
right.
was Fresh Aire Carpet Cleaning.
Yeah. So we want to help businesses. What would be your key point that you would want to say to businesses today? Do this, or answer this question, or move in this direction, or what would it be for you when you're thinking of, if I could help another business today,
if you could help another business today, oh wow. Like I said, for me, that's quite a confronting question because there are so many different types of businesses and everybody has different challenges and problems. I guess the underlying thing is really to get your systems into place and finding someone to be able to help you get those systems into place that you need to drive forward. Okay, without any system, there isn't any real business.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
and just getting those things into your head and getting them down on paper,
Yes.
so that they're actually written out. That is quite a huge thing in itself. And I mean, well, one of the things you said to me originally is like, how much do you want to earn?
Yes.
And I gave you a certain figure, and I reached it, and I thought, wow, I'm really surprised. How did I do that? But I've done it. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, and that was this financial year.
Yes.
I've managed to achieve that target, and without the things that you'd used to get me to there, I wouldn't have been able to get there.
Yeah. It's good. Probing questions are really important, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we've worked a lot on one particular area in your world. Would I be correct in saying we continually talk about marketing?
Yeah. God,
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah. So you've found some really interesting ways for you. Do you want to share some of those that have actually helped you? And I know, like you said, every business is unique, but you found some things that's worked for you.
Okay. Well, some of the things one of the things that works best is really getting into people's faces.
Yes.
Okay. So either through networking events of some description, or simply rocking up on someone's doorstep and knocking in the door and saying, "Hi, we're here."
Yes.
Okay. I've used that as a strategy, gone out to actually visit businesses as a cold call. It doesn't always work, but it can get there. I've also tried some strategies where I've contacted people direct through email with a specific information on certain aspects of the business that I know other people can't do. In my particular case for property managers, and that has actually had quite a significant return on investment. There's another one that you suggested last time we were together, but unfortunately with the dreaded Lurgian working, that hasn't actually come to the fore yet. And that was one of my projects for this week. But that's going to be another one with the lumpy mail that we discussed. So that is, you're actually personally addressing people and trying to get their attention. The biggest and hardest thing is trying to actually get the attention of a person. Facebook, I think, really is overrated. One of the worst things about Facebook is that it's mainly price shoppers. So it's really hard to try to get someone over that when, I tell them, well, my job's going to be $440, whereas Joe Blow down the road is literally doing it for $60. Oh, but he says he does the same as you. But there is a huge difference. Look at what he is and look at where we are, and you try to explain it, but a lot of people get really hung up on price. So Facebook is really about how much cheaper they can get it, and Gumtree, which I've done Gumtree, is another form that really has bottomed our industry out incredibly over the last couple of years. It's really done damage.
So you've done lots of innovations and lots of methods, and actually know what works and what doesn't work.
Yes, yeah.
And so you've not done everything all at the same time. You've tried various different aspects of marketing.
That's right, yeah.
And tested them.
Yeah, and it's not to say that I completely discard everything.
Yes.
It's still about getting exposure.
Yes.
Okay, so I still do use Facebook as an advertising medium, but I don't concentrate on it.
Yes.
Okay, so it's there in the background, it's working away. People look at it and go, "Oh wow, okay, I didn't realise that was able to be done." So I still get something generated from there, and a lot of times it's longer term potential buyers that are looking at it. There's all sorts of little bits and pieces within Facebook for marketing as well. So I push it out there every now and again, but not to any great degree. My biggest thing is direct contact with people.
Yeah.
Okay. I find that's what works the best. If they can actually see the face rather than just some sort of glossy brochure, it does make a difference. They get to know the person rather than actually just trying to follow up some sort of blog or something like that. The other thing we are going to look at doing is as well in the near future, which I think I discussed with you last time, is doing the shopping centre promotions. We're actually in the shopping centre and talking to people, okay, and targeting specific areas rather than just going out and down to the local shopping centre and hope for the best. I'm looking at the marketplace that I'm looking for and targeting those areas.
So we've done some really interesting work in that space, and it's really fascinating. And I think for businesses to understand your business and tackling various aspects of it over a long period of time sees strength and validity for the business and helps the business grow and expand. And that's what you've seen, haven't you, Franco?
Over time,
Yes.
yes. It certainly didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, that's right.
But
yeah.
I mean, it's 3 to 4 years that we've been going
Yes,
on this.
that's right,
And, things were fairly slow,
Yeah.
shall we say, to start with. But then everything you've said to me has pretty much made sense.
That's really
I had
nice.
no option but to follow on
Yeah.
with the ideas that were coming through.
Yeah. It's been great. So Franco, thank you for being in the studio with me today.
No problems at
Thank
all.
you for sharing with our listeners all around the world, which is wonderful. And I'm looking forward to continue to help you. And in fact, we're actually doing a session this afternoon. aren't
We are indeed.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
Thank you for being with us. Franco Preo from Fresh Aire Carpet Cleaning. And it's been a delight to be with you. So Franco, how can people get in contact with you?
Okay, we've got a variety of ways. We can go through email, which is info@facc.com.au. We have a landline number, which is 9493 3880, or the mobile 0418 914 097. Or you can go to that Facebook page. With the Facebook page, it's great because there's pictures of jobs that we've actually done on there. So it's not just a case of we say we can do this, this is what we can do. There's also the website, www.facc.com.au. There's an inquiry form on that as well, which means you can get in contact with us and get a quote from there. So there you are.
That's fantastic, Franco. And of course, my business is Peak Consultancy, and you can get in contact with me via Peak Consultancy, and there's a contact form. What I'd love you to do is subscribe. So do that, and there's a bell. And the bell, if you tick that, it means then the information that we're putting up on a regular basis gets pushed to you, and you know when new content. And that's really wonderful. Delightful to be with you today on our show. Thank you so much. We're helping you do business better.
I mean, into the structure of the circle around this outfit, my time, I could see that big goal.
As well as understanding the dynamics of.
I want to ask you a question today.